A lot of people say that happiness comes from enjoying yourselves, and that often involves things like instant gratification activities that often have a bad effect on someone's health. But the thing is I sort of end up disagreeing with this statement in a way, and I'm sure many people who are on self improvement may kind of agree with me and have the same belief as me on this subject matter, because I personally believe that happiness is being healthy. Being healthy contributes to you being a happier person. While sure, you may technically, if you sort of do partake in like instant gratification activities that may impact your health, while you may be happier in sort of like the peak of those activities, once you sort of finish doing them, like the night's over, you've like finished the sort of sugary snacks or whatever, your happiness just ends up dropping again, and that means that you want to go do those things again, and then the effect on your health ends up compounding and compounding and compounding. But for me personally, and I feel like for many other people, being healthy ends up contributing to the majority of their happiness. A lot of people, when they sort of are starting self improvement, they don't really have the motivation to go to the gym. But then 6 months, 3 months even into their sort of self improvement journey, all of a sudden they find the gym to be the most therapeutic thing in their life and the thing that gives them the most happiness, because it's like that sort of line of progress, the progress that weightlifting and going to the gym actually gives them is so beneficial to their happiness. And that's just like one example of how being a healthier person can contribute to happiness. And you can almost sort of see it like a game. The healthier you get, the happier you get in a way. And the more healthy you get, the sort of the levels that you progress up in this sort of game of health or whatever means that sort of competition that you're in with like the entire world, the competition that you may be winning if you are sort of healthier, you've cut out sugars, refined grains, etc. If you're increasing your level in that competition, you will naturally be happier, because competition, and especially winning in a competition, ends up giving a human being in general, sort of in an evolutionary sense, so much happiness. Because health being the main reason for people's happiness is often my sort of response when people tell me to kind of enjoy myself a little bit more, eat a little bit more sugar, maybe go out more, do that kind of stuff. My response is that doesn't end up really making me any happier than my current lifestyle. And I'm sure many people often will resonate with this. They will do a celebration, but it will sort of not really make them any happier or any less happy than if they just sort of lived their normal lifestyle and didn't go on that night out, or didn't eat that sugar, didn't have that fast food, etc. I feel like many people can kind of resonate with me that often those things don't end up making you happier. And I know that is personally what I experience. In fact, when I eat things like fast food, processed foods, sugary things, I personally say it ends up having a sort of a negative effect on my happiness, because I can tangibly sort of feel inside of me the things that it's doing. Like my gut and my stomach, my organs just don't like fast food, because I cut out fast food for pretty much like 6-7 months straight. I just didn't have it whatsoever. And then as soon as someone will have fast food again after that kind of period of time, they will end up having a very adverse reaction to it, because they're so hypersensitive to it now, because their body's had time to recover from the things that having regular fast food does to the body. And I feel that sort of thing if I have like a potentially unhealthy food, and I know I will feel that sort of feeling if I have fast food, and hence why I don't eat fast food, because I don't want to get that feeling in my gut. I don't want to sort of just not, it just doesn't feel nice whatsoever, and my quality of life decreases a lot when I'm experiencing those kind of feelings, and so I just choose not to. It isn't really a matter of enjoying myself or not, because while I'm eating that McDonald's burger, sure, it may taste nice, sure, my dopamine levels may be spiked, but I know that 4 or 5 hours in the future, my body is not going to like what that McDonald's is doing to it, and so I might as well just avoid it, especially considering the sort of happiness that I may really temporarily experience for microseconds will be incomparable to the sort of unhappiness that I will feel when 5 hours or so later down the line. And the happiness that I will feel just from having a nice quality of life is also incomparably better to the sort of microseconds of extended happiness that I would have if I had the McDonald's or I had the sugary stuff or whatever. I remember I went on a sugar fast for like 3 months straight at one point, just cut out all sugar from my life. And then I went out with friends and I got this like Oreo milkshake kind of thing. And on the bus home, I nearly fell asleep on the bus because my insulin, glucagon, blood sugar levels were all so screwed up from one Oreo milkshake because I hadn't eaten any like processed sugar for the last 3 months. My body just could not deal with it because that's how bad it actually really is for your body. And yeah, I almost missed my stop, but luckily I didn't. So all was good in the end, but that kind of said to me that this eating sugar just shouldn't be part of anyone's, and especially my daily life now that I'm so hypersensitive to it. And it's probably just best for my longevity as a human being anyway. But yeah, that's just something that I find quite peculiar about the sort of excuses for not going on to self-improvement, that they just want to enjoy their life and be happy, but often it's the temporary happiness that they're talking about when they say enjoyment and happiness. They don't really sort of think about their baseline happiness, which is really the most important thing, because you're going to have ups and downs in life. You're going to be really happy when something good happens to you. You're going to be sad when something bad happens to you. But if you can sort of have a higher baseline happiness level, that will save you from almost like those bad times that that will save you from those bad times that I spoke about, because those bad times won't be like the continuous sort of baseline happiness level, and whenever you sort of have a little bit of enjoyment, it goes up and then back down again. You want your baseline happiness to be that bit higher so you can just have a better life. I hope you can kind of agree with me on this, that maybe being unhealthy and sort of getting yourself into instant gratification once you've been on self-improvement for a while doesn't actually end up making you any happier, because you may understand what it actually does to you, and your sort of baseline happiness is good enough so that it doesn't actually give you that much enjoyment anyway. Maybe you experience that, maybe you don't, but it's quite an interesting thing when sort of people start to tell you that you should enjoy yourselves more, even though being healthy, doing things like working out and going to the gym and having a nice diet ends up making you more happier than any sort of instant gratification activity that could potentially be out there. So with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I also recommend subscribing because I like this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have, and good luck.